The UN Security Council has called for an immediate end to the siege of el-Fasher in Sudan to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. More than 1.5 million people are sheltering in the city. Food, water and medical supplies are running out. 14 countries voted in favour of the resolution and Russia abstained. The vote comes after multiple warnings from the UN, including a call by the Special Advisor on the Prevention of Genocide for the Security Council and the international community to protect the Sudanese people.
This Council has sent a strong signal to the parties to this conflict today. This brutal and unjust conflict needs to end. Today's resolution shows the Council remains committed to supporting efforts for peace in Sudan.
This resolution could not come at a more precarious moment. The people of el-Fasher are trapped. They're surrounded by heavily armed RSF. Food, water, medicine, and other essentials are drying up. Famine is setting in, and the threat of further violence, including a large-scale massacre, looms large.
A correspondent in Addis Ababa, Kaukidani Beltao, has been speaking to residents of el-Fasher about the situation on the ground.
Things are as bad as they ever were, or even worse, because since the 10th of May, this city and its environment has been a setting of these intense clashes, which include the use of airstrikes and heavy shelling as well. So the threat of insecurity looms large, but other than that, the city is besieged by the RSF fighters, which means essential supplies are not getting in, and water and food are very scarce. In addition to that, the healthcare facility is essentially on the brink of collapse. 2 of the 3 main hospitals in the city are currently closed because of attacks, and now only one hospital is operating. And many charities and medical workers are moving their patients there. In addition to that, thousands of people are fleeing the city and particularly heading to Zamzam camp, which is located about 15 kilometers from the city, which already had hundreds of thousands of displaced people. And it seems that the humanitarian crisis, a massive humanitarian crisis, is unfolding.
And this UN resolution, what kind of a difference is it expected to make on the ground for people in el-Fasher?
Well, you know, it would be naive to assume that these warring parties would just immediately stop their violence, listening to these calls like this, because that has not happened in the past year. There have been several calls and demands like this for them to return to the table and cease the violence. But we've not seen that. However, it could bring the spotlight on the country. This has been largely a neglected conflict and put pressure, particularly on other international actors that allegedly are supporting the fighters. So it could have impact in that regard. But for the people trapped in the city and in other parts of Sudan, calls like this need to be followed by actions to pressurize the generals and the warring parties to stop the fighting.
And the concern right now is that el-Fasher could fall to the RSF within a matter of days, the US government has said.
Yes, the U.S. Special Envoy for Sudan in recent days has been saying that. He was saying that the city could fall for the RSF within days, which means that the RSF could control all the 5 major cities in the region of Darfur. This is the only main urban center that they do not control in Darfur area, and in other parts of this region they have been accused of committing various atrocities that some rights groups are saying could amount to ethnic cleansing, and even as the US was saying that the threat of genocide looks large. So there are fears that it could fall for the RSF.
Kaukidani Beltao in Addis Ababa there.